You're watching Drake Queen Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, Nary here from Drake Queen Gaming. It's something on Twitter, the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you to the Let's Play episode of Moonlight Castle. Dylan's Path. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm chain, you are up, and let's-a go. Let's-a go. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm now fully prepared to take on the cooking challenge. With Blake in tow, Clyde arrived at the shop, carrying a few books in the crook of his arm, and the wolf was holding bags that were filled with all sorts of ingredients. The three of you, come with me inside. Everyone else, stay here. The kitchen isn't big enough for all of you and Ryan at the same time. I stood up and followed the men. I was the last to make it to the kitchen, as I was giving Ryan one last look. Our eyes met, but the bear just turned away and placed his body on the counter as I disappeared into the back of the shop. Once we were all in the kitchen, Russell began to talk. He was giving us instructions on every step, what to do and what not, but my attention was elsewhere. When the bull wasn't looking, I pulled out my phone and stepped to the side. Are you okay? I texted Ryan, and a response came rather fast. He must have already been using his phone. I think so. Maybe. I'm tired. I know you. What Liam said bothered you, didn't it? A little. He doesn't know anything. I just don't like when people assume things about us without knowing what we went through together. I don't think there was malice behind his words. Don't let them get to you. Yeah, I know. That's why I dropped it. Let's do something together later. What do you think? I'm gonna help Russell cook. It'd be nice if you could stay around a bit. Sure. Sounds good to me. Are you gonna be okay then? I'll try. I promise. I put away my phone, and as I moved back, I met with Russell's glare, which terrified me. I don't appreciate being ignored while explaining things you need to hear. If you don't want to help, leave the kitchen. He caught me, and heaven knew how long he'd been staring and waiting for me to notice. I took a nervous gulp. I knew that he was right to be upset, but checking on Ryan was more of a priority to me. I'm sorry, it was an important message. I promise there'll be no more texting. The bull turned his head and left the room. I wasn't sure what to make of it since I hadn't been paying attention to what he had said. Don't worry. He's picking up something we need for the dessert. Everything is fine. Clyde's words reassured me and kicked away the idea that Russell had ditched us. Try to be more mindful of others next time. I don't believe Russell would stop you from using your phone. Give a word, and I'm sure he would have waited for you. Yeah, I can see where you guys are coming from. What's the big deal what's the big deal you're making it to be? Joel isn't the type to ignore someone on purpose without a reason. I know that, and so do you, but Russell? He's joined us for less than 2 days and hasn't had the time to get to know us properly yet. People ignore me all the time, and I don't really care. Clyde and I exchanged worried looks. We were unsure about how to tackle what the Lynx just said. That's not a good thing, Liam. Don't internalize that as a normal response. I can hear you out if you have anything to say. I grabbed Liam's arm and plopped my head on the Lynx's shoulder. Yeah, what did I tell you? Today is your day. Okay, I get it. We can talk about me. Liam shook me off and took a few steps backward. His paws were raised and made into a wall standing between us. Russell came back briefly to put the missing ingredient on the counter and once again disappeared. I felt Clyde's hand on my arm. It stopped me from going after the bull. The dragon probably knew that what I was having in my mind. I'd let it cool off for now. You'll find another opportunity to apologize. He probably has his own share of thinking to do as well. I guess I'll wait till we finish making the dessert. Then the dragon was pulling Liam's arm. It seemed the Lynx was trying to sneak away. You're not going anywhere. I give up! Quickly, Clyde summarized what I was supposed to do in our mission of making the dessert. Then we began the preparation to the tasks that were assigned to us individually. Everything seemed to be going smoothly until a certain step of the recipe proved to be an obstacle. Who's gonna do that? I asked as the three of us stared at the package that Russell had dropped on the counter earlier. Those harmless eggs laid neatly inside the box somehow appeared daunting to us. Not even a single one of us dared to reach a hand out toward them. It's easier than we think, really. Then you do it. I could, but what if I hit one too hard? I'd hate myself for wasting such good food. Well, this whole cooking thing was Clyde's idea, right? So maybe he should be the one to crack them up. Upon hearing that, the dragon was paralyzed, and not even calling his name could snap him out of it. Seeing that, I then volunteered to grab the eggs, but Clyde suddenly jumped in to stop me. No, I have to do this. Tell me what to do. Okay, so my mom usually taps them lightly on the edge of a surface, usually the sink, and I've seen her gradually increase the power if the shell doesn't break. It's better to be too weak rather than too strong. Clyde nodded and attempted to follow what I said. His face lit up as a crack appeared in the middle of the shell. "Oh, look! Got it! What do I do now?" Now push the middle of the crack with your finger. You want to grab the shell and divide it into 2 halves." "Wow!" His eyes were sparkling with curiosity and happiness as he followed exactly what I said. Liam labeled what just happened as beginner's luck, though it didn't really matter to me whether or not that was true. What was important was that Clyde got to discover that he might, at the very least, have some sort of a potential in cooking. Well, at least he now knew how to crack an egg. Things went smoothly afterward, and as we kept going about our tasks, Clyde and I reminded Liam that we'd like to know more about him. "You really want to know?" Both of us nodded at the links. Our heads were moving excitedly in unison. "It's boring, really. Nothing worthy of being remembered." Liam appeared ready to keep going on and on about why we shouldn't listen to him talk about himself, so I had to cut him off. "Stop making excuses and just get on with it." "If you find talking about yourself too broad and difficult, would you prefer it if we instead asked you questions? I'm fine with either. Ultimately, it's up to you." Clyde pulled out a notebook and a pen, seemingly ready to take notes as if he was in a class, and it kind of freaked out the spotted feline. "You guys are putting me on the spot. I don't know. I can't think of anything." "Let's start with your hobbies, then. What do you like to do?" Liam blinked at me. It seemed my question confused him. "But you already know the answer to that." I gave him a nudge, trying to push away his shyness. "It's a conversation starter. Just answer it, anyway. Things will go from there." He took a bit of time as he tried to phrase his thoughts. Sometimes it looked like he was about to say something, but our eager eyes were already probably slowing him down. "I love to observe the reactions and the strong feelings that people give off. Horror and supernatural stuff are the best ways to evoke such feelings, and nobody's reaction is ever the same. Our days are too boring, and that's why we need something to spice them up a little. It gives me life." With speed, the dragon wrote down a scribble of our conversation. "That's interesting. You seek an emotional experience that you can't normally have." It seemed that the memo wasn't much appreciated, though, as Liam was yelling at the dragon immediately afterward. "When you put it like that, it makes me sound like a depressed lynx." "Apologies, that wasn't my intention. I was merely piecing together what I've collected thus far from my observation." As the dragon replied, he showed us a diagram that he'd made out of the situation. Liam gave it a quick look before pushing the notebook back at Clyde. And then, as the spotted feline continued speaking, he opened his arms and stretched them wide as if trying to mimic something, most likely a creature. However, neither the dragon nor I could make out what it was. It's not the scaring that excites me, it's the scenes, the sounds, the music, the atmosphere, the stories. All those, when combined, provoke one's senses of dread, the worry about something that is coming, the uncertainty, the suspense, the feeling that it may or not happen. The heaviness in one's chest, the discomfort, the anxiety, the feeling that their guts are on fire, and then the closure, when it finally happens, and the horror that it brings. Dude, you sound like a fucking psychopath. Like, seriously, you sound nuts. They scream, they jump, or they simply stare. Their eyes, however, widen, and their bodies shake as their fears send shivers down their spines, themselves completely engulfed in the essence of terror. I can't say I have a deep understanding regarding such an experience, but you seem to possess a very passionate outlook and a way to convey your thoughts and feelings. I think it's nice to hear how you speak about your interests, and I am definitely not dialing 911 right now to have you committed to a mental hospital. Clyde gets it. See that, Liam? What you just said? That's what I wanted to hear. I agree with Joel. You seem pretty capable of holding a conversation and dishing out a topic of your interests. May I ask why you said earlier that'd be boring? Often when I share my love for gruesome stuff, I either get called a weirdo or catch them talking behind my back. Yeah, you like to freak people out and play pranks on them. That's weird. My family also never listens to me. All they care about is getting me to find a high-paying job so they can eventually have me take care of them as they grow old. That's awful. I can see now why you'd hesitate to speak about yourself. I was about to give Liam a pat on the shoulder in an attempt to cheer him up, but I figured that he probably wouldn't appreciate physical contact, so I took a different approach. I don't know what's up with your family, but what they're doing is extremely toxic. You're not obligated to look after them. You're not their slave. Yeah, you're right. I've lost count of how many times we've argued and how many times I've gotten grounded, all over the stupidest reasons until I was old enough to leave. There you go. To leave them to live on my own were probably the best decisions I've ever made. So, things are better now? I guess. I have enough money to survive. That's all I need, honestly. The freedom is nice, but it can get lonely sometimes. Yeah, it's not something easy to deal with. Ah, that reminds me. You live on your own, too. You know exactly what the worst thing someone who lives alone has to do, don't you? Making food and planning things for the day? We were immediately on the same page. Sharing the same struggle as one another was surely a nice way to make our bonds. Yep, annoying as fuck. Takeout is such a real godsend. Do you ever have any homemade food? Clyde chimed in with a positive energy, but Liam and I went quiet. Neither of us was going to break it to him. Does Russell's count? I put on a fake smile as Clyde was doing a facepalm. I'm afraid to inquire about the eating habits of you two now. I could sense the dragon's disapproval. Hey, I'm still too young to give a fuck about what I eat. Maybe remind me in 5 years or so. I make enough to afford ramen and sushi, so who cares, so long as the food is good. I admit that properly made ramen can be delicious, but that's not the issue. Nutrition and balanced diets are vital to your body. You can't just eat the same things every day. It's not that I don't want the variety or don't enjoy the warm food made by myself. It's just that there are too many things in the way. It's quite complicated. I know, right? I have to go to work, go to school, and manage my money. Having to think about all those things that I do daily already tires me. At the end of the day, there's neither time nor energy left in me. Exactly that. And living alone, cooking is just boring. Because I'd be making food just for myself. There's no one's company to go with it. Interesting. Okay, I think I understand the situation better now. There's a lot of useful information, and I shall make plans accordingly. What's that supposed to mean? I don't like the sound of that either. Clyde was definitely scheming something. I think it's done. It appeared the dessert was finished for the most part. The main labor was done, and the dragon was showing the result to us. Liam, however, seemed to be slightly irritated that Clyde didn't answer him, even though he said earlier that he didn't care about people ignoring him. It goes in the fridge now. It should be ready tonight. Good thing I brought a portable refrigerator for the trip. It was truly a good investment. Hello, I asked a question here. I'm afraid I can't answer it, Liam. It's a surprise. There will be no spoilers. Don't worry, I'm sure it's nothing bad. Blake is always around to keep him in check anyway. Liam sighed, and I too was curious about what Clyde had in store for us. However, I didn't press it. Our work here was done. It was giving us a real workout. I'm tired. We're done, right? Let's get at it. Let's get out. I need to sit and drink, and a drink would be really great right now. We should clean up after ourselves first. Clyde was once again pulling Liam's arm. For the second time, the dragon stopped from sneaking away. The lynx from sneaking away. Oh, yeah, I meant to do that. Completely forgot about it. Judging by his tone, I was sure that Liam was lying, and he probably couldn't wait to leave the kitchen. It was so obvious that even the dragon sighed. Fine, you may go ahead and leave. Please tell the others that we're done, so they may begin their preparation. When the lynx heard that, his face lit up. Eager to skip the cleaning duty, he was happy to oblige. I'll do that then, thanks! Then, soon after that, Clyde and I started cleaning the place. Oh god. Freaking hair in my eye is going to be the fucking death of me, I swear to god. Oh my god, get out of my eye, you little bastard! Yeah. There we go, okay. I put dirty bowls into the sink as the dragon was wiping the tables, and, while we were at it, Russell walked in. You didn't have to do that. Of course we had to. Wouldn't be fair to leave behind the mess, especially not after you were kind enough to let us use your kitchen. And you weren't expecting anything in return, either. It's the least we could do. Russell huffed and promptly left the room, only to return with a small cart that was full of cleaning supplies. Quietly, he joined us in cleaning the kitchen, which really helped to speed up the process. Are you doing this because I was angry at you? No, I was planning to clean up the place regardless, but I do feel bad for making you upset. I may have overreacted a bit. Alright, I'm gonna pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I'm going to give a quick shout out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank you all for all I do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Thank you to our silver tier patron, Cade Silverman. Thank you for going a bit above and beyond. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you to our gold tier patron, Trezum Guy. You're awesome. We love you. Thank you for subbing to Ultimate Tier. Anyway, if y'all want to get your names in the credits, get access to all of our not safe for work contents as little as $5. Alrighty, I love you all. See y'all in the next video. Bye-bye.